Well, hello everybody. It is your boy Sam, aka the Train, mother, main, my foams and bloams and gooms. Once again, if you don't like the intro, I can't help you, but I'm glad you're here. Please subscribe, please like, turn on that bell icon so you get first dibs at the new videos, which will be coming more frequently. And let me tell you why. In my previous video, you heard me say, I'm not making another layout until we move. And you heard me say, I'm selling my layout, so I'm not gonna have a layout. Well, half of it was true. I sold my layout. The other half, I lied. I'm building a new layout. So the reason I got rid of the old layout, if you remember, is because I went with Kato track to make a step up from Bachmann track. And it was just as bad as far as mainline track was fine, better, I suppose. And the switches were just as garbage. Sorry to say, that's my opinion. That was my experience. So sticking with it because that's what I dealt with. Also because we have been talking about and looking at houses for like a year and a half now. The market is crazy. But I didn't want to have a layout that when I move, which will happen eventually, could be in a month, could be in 2 years. I didn't want to have a layout that got destroyed in the process. So I sold my old layout, track frustrations. I was without a layout for about 2 weeks. The itch was not scratched. I need a layout. And so I decided, best of both worlds, going to build a layout here for the third time and make it so that 100%, no matter what space I move to, no matter how far I have to travel with it, and no matter what I want to do in the new space, that this layout, and quote me on this, stick with me on this, remind me of this layout is coming with me no matter where I go. It's going to be big. It's not going to be super expanded at all. I'm going to build it, make it the best layout I've made and able to take. My basis of thinking is, well, you've seen the first layout that I built here, which was my second layout. It was module stands 12 feet by 7 feet by 9 feet. And then the layout that I just had was it was a shelf layout, 8 feet by 2 feet wide, and then 8 feet by 2 feet. So it came out 6 feet, it came out 6 feet here, 8 feet long into the corner, and then 8 feet off of that. So it was technically 10 feet by 6 feet and 2 feet deep. What I'm doing now is from this corner to that corner is about 15 feet. It's like 14 foot, 10 inches. So 14 feet and change long, almost 15 feet and 2 feet wide. What I'm going to do is an 8 foot section and then a 7 foot, 10 inch section. And they're both going to be based in corners. I like the 2 feet wide for anything I do in the future, unless I did some kind of center island at some point later on when I move, I'm saying. No matter where I move, there's going to be a layout room or space, and it's going to start in a corner somewhere. And odds are there will be another corner somewhere. So no matter what, this corner that I'm going to make, it's all going to be, like I said, 15 feet by 2 feet wide. So that's about, from this corner down there, about 15 feet, and about out to about here with the wainscot. So it's going to be big, but like I said, no matter what, when I move, there's going to be a corner to start in, so I can use that, or a right-hand corner, I can use that, and this section can be put as a dog leg, or could be put, I could start a corner layout here with this corner and then take what that one was and put it here and then build in between. I can do whatever I want. Basing in the corners, no weird tables, no has to be L-shaped there. It's going to be straight and able to split in half. The track's going to all match up, modular style, but not going to be with legs. Going to be a shelf layout. So it's going to be very simple to build. I just literally just got back from Home Depot. You could see what I had drawn out. I got my 1x3s all measured, my hardboard that I need. So this was the original plan that I drew. Again, 15 feet by 2 feet. And I was going to make little 4 foot by 2 foot L shapes. Not even worth it. Not worth the extra lumber or materials. I want a layout. I want a nice layout. I'm going to go ahead and get just started with this. If I ever or when I move and expand, everything's going to be designed to come apart right here seamlessly. And if I need to put in a Y here or change the run of the main line, then I'll just be cutting up 2 pieces of track and adding on in the future. So that's my plan. I have a loose track plan in mind. As always, I draw up 80% of what I want and then spend time free-forming it as I, get it on the table, run some trains, and decide what I want to do. So I got these are 1x3s. I have some scrap 1x3s that are cut to length of what I'm going to be doing, which was nice. Always keep all your extra scrap stuff. I have extra 1x3s. I have extra pink foam for mountains, all kinds of extra wood and fascia. I saved the shelf brackets from the old layout. All kinds of pink foam and florist foam from the very first layout, which I never will use again for anything but structural integrity. More wood, more foam, and little pieces of wood. I use stuff all the time. Scrap track and stuff too. Here's all my track I'll be using on the new layout, Atlas Code 80 Flex. But scrap track, I got a whole box full. The trees I reused, logs, all kinds of scenic stuff. You'll get to that later down the line. But point is, save everything. So looking through my stockpile of stuff I had saved, lumber prices are even higher right now. And I saved myself from buying, at least $12 worth of material by looking ahead of time. So I got my 1x3s to frame it. Keep in mind, even N scale, even HO scale, you don't need to build a Fort Knox style benchwork. The benchwork can be light and still be sturdy. The hard board base, nice and sturdy. Very sturdy. I mean, you're not even breaking those corners. And then you got the pink foam. All of that, I carried the old modules from the layout that I just sold. I carried them out of the basement sideways under my arm by myself to the garage, and then we loaded them in his truck. We didn't even need 2 guys to load it in the truck. And I never had any issues. The legs are nice and strong. Everything's gonna work out nice. So what I'm gonna do tonight for sure is get the frame built, which shouldn't take long, and then get it mounted on the wall, which hopefully shouldn't take long. And if everything goes according to plan, I want to have the framework and tabletop itself in place tonight. What's nice is I did measurements, so it's going to be 2 feet even wide and 8 feet long, and then the second table will be just under 8 feet, so I'll have to cut a tiny bit, but these are 2x4. The first table will be 2x4 times 2, and the foam is 4x8, so I cut it right in half. So aside from 2 or 3 inches on the second table, I'll have to cut everything. All of this is kind of plug and play based on the measurements. So I'll set up the camera and try and get some time-lapse-y stuff. But we're gonna get this benchwork in. I'm staying up late tonight if I have to get this up, and we'll go from there. So the train main, back in action. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes, and what I've already done is secured the outer benchwork 8 feet by 2 feet, and then I'm gonna build the exact same thing, but it's gonna be about 2.5 to 3 inches shorter, so 7'10", let's call it. What I'm gonna do now, I just cut center braces so I can line up all the slats in the middle. I'm cutting everything ahead of time, so once I get this table done, I'm gonna measure for that, cut both of those. Those are already cut to length to be screwed on. Then I just gotta cut these for that table too. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Using a handsaw, it's just a little easier down in the basement. Get custom measurements and precise measurements. Once I finish bracing this table, I am gonna go ahead and mount it up. I'm gonna use 2 of these shelf brackets on the ends, and I'll put in one in the center later on once this is up too, in case I need to make any height adjustments. Make sure it's all nice and level. If you recall on my last layout, I bought these on Amazon. You can hear how heavy they are. They're probably 7 pounds a piece, but they're 18 inches long by 14 inches, or you could do them 14 by 18, but I put them in the wall like so, comes out 18 inches. I screw it right into the supports. Perfectly sturdy, light bench work, bracing that's allowing it to be light or heavy. all screwed together and nice, and it works. So like I said, I'm gonna put one in here, one in down there, about the 8-foot mark. Make sure it's nice and level. Then build this table to perfect length. Do the same thing. And then I'll go ahead and put the center braces in. And the idea is these are both 2-foot by 4-foot. I should throw one here, screw them down, should be good. Then in theory, well, actually I'll have to cut one of those just on this end, whatever the same amount of inches. Same thing with the foam, cut it down the middle, put it right on top of that. And then on this one, have to just chop off 2 or 3 inches. So we're making progress. Like I said, I just want to have it up and mounted tonight. I'll have the boards glued. I'll have the boards screwed down for sure because they're not going anywhere. The foam I'll get to cut in length, put it on there, but I'm not going to glue it tonight either. All right, let me keep going. I'm dilly-dallying. It's valuable time because the calves are really good again, so I'm going to watch the calves while I do this. Swag. So I just picked up the phone, stopped the time lapse. Sorry about the lighting situation down here, but this bulb has finally pretty much died. And of course it dies 2 days before I start bench work and all that again. So I wanted to show this off because I'm like, wow, but I measured how high I wanted the layout to be, put the first leg in at height, came over, drilled this one in with just a rough anchor screw to start messing with the level, and check out that very first eyeball. I could do like one bap over here and it's perfect. So I wanted to show that off, but sorry for the noise in the background. I'm watching a documentary, but so there's the first table so far. So again, it's 2 feet wide by 8 feet long. I got one brace in the middle. I'll probably brace again over here every 2 feet. I'm gonna measure this out now, build this table, and it'll be the same thing. And you can already see how it's starting to take shape. So you can't really be watching the calves and working on your layout at the same time. So sorry about the lighting again. I'm gonna order that bulb tonight, so hopefully by the next video it'll be fixed for you. The bench work is up. The framing is mounted. We've got the 2 feet wide. The first table's 8 feet, and the second table's about 7 foot, 8 inches and a half. Maybe a little bit more. We've got it secured to the wall legs, and then secured to the wall, secured together, and same thing down there. So in theory, what I'm going to do next is, well, here, let me show you. Take one of these hardwood sheets, which I always use as a base for when I put my foam on top of. It should fit in here perfectly. Give or take a millimeter. I know I'm doing this while I'm holding the camera, but oh, look at that. Let's slide this on down. Bear with me. And that's what proper measuring is for. I'm gonna line it up a little better, but here we go. 2 feet by 4 feet. So throw another one here, and I'll have to chop one of them that's going in here. But the hardwood base fit on there perfectly. Like I said, I gotta adjust it a little bit. It's more cornered up there. So we will definitely be able to have the bench work minus the fascia and backdrop complete tonight, which is awesome to see, so hang tight. All right, well, we are about 2 hours in, give or take. I took a couple breaks and had a couple small issues. One of the legs wasn't cooperating and blah, blah, blah. But I got the bench work all done. I made drawings, got a rough of what I wanted to do, decided exactly what I wanted to do. I figured out exactly how much materials I needed before I even went to the store. So when I got to Home Depot, I knew what I had at home. I knew what I needed. My plan was intact. So you saw I built my tables. I measured my hardwood base. Everything fits nice. I measured my foam, and it all is very congruent. I gotta obviously adjust it. The foam's not glued. The hardwood is screwed in. As you can see, I use the legs I showed you, 14 inches tall by 18 inches this way. And we're in business. So I'm not gonna glue the foam down for a bit. I don't know if or when I'll get the fascia on. I'm not really concerned about fascia right now because the idea with it, when I eventually move, maybe I'll keep the fascia off until we move. So like I said, I can have a corner where I'm gonna start at the new house no matter what. So I can use this corner or this corner and then figure out what to do with these tables at that time. So I guess that's probably it for now. For this video, it's gonna be a long video. I'm actually editing this one somewhat. I'll just be putting a bunch of clips into my video editing software and instead of one long ramble like I normally do. But like I said, this was about, you know, an hour or two of planning, a couple days of thought. And then I made my list today. I went to Home Depot, came home, started the minute I got home. So from the time I left for Home Depot to right now, I'd say it was just over 3.5 hours, give or take. So, fans are doing really good, sorry for the break. But, so, I'm ready to run trains if I want. Got all this flex track. I already have a rough track plan in mind. I don't think I have enough flex track for what I'm planning to do. But, we'll go from there. So, I don't really know what else to show right now. I'm gonna save all this scrap, like I said, put it back with all my, I have even a little extra foam from tonight, what I've had from before. All my extra wood and foam and blah, blah, blah. Everything is gonna come in handy, so I guess train main, let me know what you think. Please subscribe, hit the bell so you get first dibs on videos. Let me know what you like or don't like or think I could be doing better or I'm not doing or all the good stuff. So, all right, the train main, peace.